I'll tell you a story about my birth. I had been at hundreds and hundreds of births with people using these skills. Then I got pregnant again 12 years after I'd had my first baby. Long time. I went into labor 8 weeks early. I was staying in a strange state with some strange people, never seen a doctor. I didn't expect to have a baby 8 weeks early. I really wanted to use the skills as I was being delivered to a strange hospital with an 8-week premature baby. They wouldn't let me move. They made me stay in the bed and they hooked me up to an IV. That's what they wanted to do. I wasn't going to argue with them. It's not necessarily what kind of birth I wanted, but it was what it was. And why birthing better skills have always been so impactful is we use them in every type of birth. We just ignore the external or the internal and we just keep focused and using our skills. So I'd lie on my right side, I'd go around my pelvic clock on the inside and soften, soften, soften. And I would articulate my sacrum, and a contraction would come up. I'd one knee squat, the other foot with a bent knee on the ground, hold on to the end of the bed. I always felt like I wanted to vomit, so I'd stick my finger down my throat and bleh, like that. And then I would soften, make certain that my sit bones were apart, make certain that my sacrum was mobile, soften in the pelvic clock, and I would have these really intense contractions to which my negative voice, which is in another lesson, would go F, 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 F. I was not sophisticated. And my other voice would be to continue to soften and to continue to stay open. Well, I went from not dilated to fully dilated in about 45 minutes. And they let me birth them myself. So it's really important that you soften inside, and that will help your cervix dilate. With women who are having difficulty with the dilation of working on the inside of the pelvic clock, we then grew more sophisticated and worked with where we perceived the cervix was so we could soften around the cervix. And we call it a clock because it goes from this to this, which is sort of like that clock face, isn't it? So we can soften all around this. So it's really important for you to gain this capacity to soften soft tissue inside your pelvis.